Hey guys, welcome back to Fixee TV. I'm your host Anton, and for today's video, we're going to be taking a look at another Keychron keyboard, specifically the Keychron K8 TKL. Now, you see, we've done a similar video on the Keychron K4 in the past, but in my review, I wasn't particularly happy with it. But after learning more about the keyboard space, I'm excited to take a look at this keyboard from a fresh perspective. So, let's get started. Wait, hold up. Before this video starts, I want to say thank you to everyone that subscribed to the channel. We just hit a milestone of 300 subscribers. We really appreciate all the feedback and support you've given us over the past few months, and we're sorry that we weren't able to post a couple of videos lately. But what's important now is that we're back and we're ready to release new and exciting tech content for you guys. Anyway, back to the video. So, a little fun fact about Keychron. This little company was started on Kickstarter by 3 friends, and they just built up the company because of their love of keyboards. Today, the company is known to make one of the best budget mechanical keyboards in the space, and it's very widely accessible to a lot of people. Alright, you see, that's just a little fun fact about Keychron, but we're really excited to take a look at this keyboard and kind of dive into it. It's been a couple of months since we've had a keyboard here on the channel, so I'm excited to show you what it's all about. Let's get to the unboxing. Okay, right off the bat, the box seemed a bit smaller than the box of the K4. This is probably because of the different layout sizes, but when you look inside, it has the exact similar packaging to the K4, with the foil protection, the plastic wrap, and a keycap puller with some extra keys. What's different this time around is that it came with the switch puller. This is because the Keychron K8 that we got supports hot swapping. Overall, I knew that once again, Keychron has excellent build quality and giving another premium aesthetic welcome when you open the box. Now, for the overall design. The smaller layout of the Keychron K8 TKL gave me a better sense of comfort, since it felt more flexible compared to the awkwardness of the Keychron K4. It has an inclined position that makes up for its height. I personally like TKL and 75% keyboards, because it's more spacious and it feels more fluid when I'm moving my keys from the arrows to the alpha keys. The width of this keyboard is much smaller than the Keychron K4. The keyboard felt bulky, but the compact feel of the aluminum frame makes it feel quite durable. I didn't feel flex on the frame at all, in spite of its look. It also now has a kickstand that is adjustable to some angles. It was also nice to see a budget keyboard at this price that's also wireless. A lot of budget keyboards don't have that option, and this felt like it was a more premium feel. I'm specifically talking about TKL keyboards here. So far, the wireless feature is really convenient and it makes it easy if you're working on multiple computers or you're moving from one place to another. And from my experience, Keychron has offered the best Bluetooth wireless experience among all the keyboards that I've tested and used. The red switches that came with the keyboard were quite loud, and they were very light to the touch. I'm personally not a fan of the switches that came with the keyboard, because when I would be typing, it felt like it was too soft but too loud. It didn't hit my preference point, at least. Don't get me wrong, I love the feel of linear switches, but I didn't particularly like the feel of this one. In all my experience with keycaps and Keychrons, these were the only ones I had a problem with. They got easily dirty after an average typing session that I filmed for this video, and they just felt like cheap plastic. This could be because I'm more exposed to different kinds of keycaps now, but overall, the stock keycaps of the Keychron K8 aren't that great. They look nice, don't get me wrong, but they don't feel that great. Now, for the initial typing experience, I can say it wasn't terrible, but it wasn't good. The keyboard was loud and had some pinging noises, just as the standard for mechanical keyboards. The stabs from the keypads rattled quite a bit, which was kinda uncomfortable. I was also curious why the switches were that loud, even though these were linear. It could be because of the keycaps, but I'm not so sure. I like the TKL layout because the arrow keys didn't get in my way when I was typing. It wasn't as jumbled up tightly together anymore as it was on the K4, so it felt also easier to navigate throughout the board. Sadly, another recurring experience you get with Keychrons is the pain in your wrists. If you don't have a wrist rest, it makes it difficult to type for long sessions. The typing profile is too high, and my hands aren't used to that. Even when you incline the keyboard at a certain point, it's still quite uncomfortable on your wrists. So if you are interested in getting this keyboard, I highly recommend you get a wrist rest. Well, the overall typing experience wasn't as good as I expected, but hopefully we can change that. It honestly gets the job done, and if you don't mind the noises, I feel like it's a good starting point for a lot of people that want to get in the keyboard space. One of the best features of the K8 is that it's hot swappable. So that gave me more options to upgrade this keyboard and mod it to make the typing experience feel more at home. A lot of people in our previous Keychron video kept telling us to get the V2s because they're all hot swappable, so thank you very much for that recommendation. I started to modify the keyboard by replacing the Otemu switch used for Gatleron Yellow Pros. Then I switched out the original plate-mounted stabs for Durock plate mounts. And to complete the mod, I lubed the switches and clipped, lubed, and Hooly modded the stabilizers. Oh, I also changed out the keycaps for something that felt a bit better, and not just regular cheap plastic. Overall, the custom job we did on the keyboard made it feel and sound a lot better. Should you buy this keyboard? Well, here are the pros and cons. Keychron once again nails the aesthetics of a keyboard. It makes it look very crisp and clean. The wireless mode is a must-have for people that want everything cable-free in their desk setup. But to be honest, the stock keyboard felt a bit bland and you'd have to spend a bit more just to make it feel like a top-tier keyboard. I found the typing angle kind of weird still, and I guess I'm gonna keep my expectations low for now for Keychron's K lineup until they address this issue. I know wrist rests exist, but I personally don't like them. Now, given the price, I'd say it's pretty good. So the keyboard is priced at around 92 to 99 USD, or around 4,900 to 5,100 pesos here in the Philippines. Even if though it's slightly more expensive than the typical keyboard budget of 3,000 to 4,000 pesos, I feel that the experience that it gives you and the build quality make up for it. Also, it's wireless. It's really hard to find good quality wireless TKL keyboards at that price point. We recommend the Rack Lamang Pro as well, but the build quality isn't the same. Feature set's there, but the Keychron wins out on build quality. Overall, the Keychron K8 is a great improvement over the Keychron K4 V1 we reviewed in one of our first videos. The Keychron K8's TKL layout, hot swappable features, and amazing frame are to die for. And I don't see a lot of TKL keyboards with this quality and wireless support. But it's not the best out there because of the typing experience. The height is just too awkward and made my wrists hurt. If I were to give them a rating, I'd give the Keychron K4 V1 that we reviewed in this video a 6 out of 10. And I'd give the Keychron K8 8 out of 10. So if you're willing to look past the awkward typing profile, this is definitely a keyboard that you should consider picking up. But again, keyboard preferences are different for everyone, and it's all up to you on making your keyboard purchase decisions. Who knows, maybe you guys will enjoy it more than I did. Thank you guys so much for watching until the end of the video, and thank you to our client who graciously lent the keyboard to us while we were doing some modding work on it. So if you liked the video, please hit the like button and subscribe down below. This really helps our channel grow and produce more content every week. Also, don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get notified whenever we post. Anyway, I'm your host Anton, and I'll see you guys in the next one. See ya!